Welcome to Heal
Right.
with me,
Jake,
and him,
Jason.
and today we are talking to Emmalea Deal from EmmaleaDeal and the Hot Mess. So, Emmalea, you guys are like kind of killing it right now, or whatever. You just did some fests and stuff. How long ago did you start playing music?
So, personally, I started at like age 13.
Right.
So, I'm about to turn 24. So, about 11 years now, which is crazy to think. It hasn't always been what it is now. Just lots of different like projects and genre changes and life changes. So, yeah, music's been in my life for about 11 years, and I don't know. I love doing it, and I don't want to stop.
That makes.
What'd you start out? What'd you start out on? Did you always play guitar or?
So I started out, and like the get go, I always wanted to play like the type of music that I do now. Like I grew up listening to that, but I actually started in country music, which is so strange for a lot of people to hear.
Nowadays, it'd be probably big bucks if you switched back to country, since it's popping off right now. But so you wanted to play like the alternative kind of punk sound or whatever from the very beginning, but you started in country.
Well, I was a 13-year-old girl,
Right?
And at the time, Hayley Williams
Right.
was like my absolute idol, which I still love Hayley. I still love Paramore.
Dude, they're amazing.
So, yeah, they are amazing. And, that's what I wanted to be. But given the West Virginia area and what I could find, I was like, well, it seems like country is going to be the most easy to access option. So I don't care. I just want to play music. And it just kind of like snowballed from there. And I realized, hey, I actually do want to do the type of music I've always wanted to make. So I'm going to do that now.
That makes sense. Were you like self-taught, or did like somebody like kind of teach you? Did that make it easier to get into country to begin with, or whatever?
So I started doing like talent shows and things like that as a kid.
Right.
And through some mutual friends, found this band. They wanted a singer, an extra singer. They played country music. I was like, okay, I'll just join. We'll do like some covers. It was mostly cover music, nothing original. We anything that new actually.
Really?
It was very, very, very old country, like Loretta Lynn and Patsy Cline.
Oh yeah,
That's the good stuff, though.
that is good stuff.
So, yeah, I love the old stuff. So I was glad that that's the country I was doing, because it was fun, but it just wasn't. It wasn't what I wanted. So.
Right. Did everybody know like immediately you had like a talent, like you could sing really well, or was that something that kind of came along?
I think, I don't know, because I don't view it as like a talent kind of thing, but I've always just had a very, what's the word for it? I've had a deeper, more raspy voice for like most of my life. My family always joked when I was a kid that I had a smoker's voice. Even
being from West Virginia, yeah, you could have started at 3 or whatever.
So I've always had a kind of unique sound and I guess tone. And from there, it was people being like, "Oh, you would sound really good doing this type of cover," or "Have you ever heard this person who has a kind of similar voice?" And after like a couple years of doing that, I decided to like get serious with guitar, and then kind of like I branched off as a solo artist.
That's actually how I first heard of you. Was about a year ago. It just came up because I try to listen to as much like local music. So it was like a random like I was listening to like For You or something like that on Spotify, and your solo thing had played first, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And I like looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, it's this girl from West Virginia." So I looked more into it and saw that you had a whole band and you were playing electric style, faster, more punk rock version too. And
Yeah.
I thought you guys were amazing immediately. Like,
Oh, you.
yeah, I was taken aback. I was like, this girl can really fucking sing.
Thank you. That means a lot. I'm glad you guys like our sound. That's what means
Yeah,
most.
it puts me in the mind of like MCR, which is my like one of my favorite bands in
Yeah.
the world. So, because I've been good friends with Josh for a long time, and that's kind of how I came upon you guys. Is Josh joined the band or whatever, and Cody, and I gave it a listen one time, and I was like, wow, I was like, this has like MCR vibe. Because I saw EmmaleaDeal and the Hot Mess, and I was like, this is like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers or some shit, you know? Like, I was like, what the hell is this? And then, like, I actually listened to it, and I was like, dude, this fucking rules, you know? So, yeah, I hear a lot of MCR, and I dig it a lot. It's really cool.
Thank you. MCR probably one of my biggest influences, so I'm
It
glad.
comes through.
It comes through, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys actually had the same bass player there for a hot minute.
We
A
did.
hot mess
Yeah.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the same bass. We had the same guitar player for a minute too.
Was Josh
Before, like Josh was at the end of his Ghost Home Road when he started. Like, we interlapped for a little bit, not very long, but
A little of an overlap.
yeah.
Which was he still doing Cassius at best at that point too?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
three,
he's
three
doing all
bands is
three.
a lot.
And he actually using 4 bands because he was doing that 3-piece thing with
Discussions.
Yeah.
discussions. He was doing that, so yeah, he was busy there for a while.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. There's no way. I barely have time for one band.
Spe-
I'm brained. I couldn't.
Same. Plus, when I'm doing one thing, I'd put fucking everything I got into it, so it'd be hard to put anything else into anything else. At least of like
Yeah.
a substantial way. Speaking of that, are you predominantly the main songwriter for EmmaleaDeal and the Hot Mess? EmmaleaDeal and the Hot Mess.
EmmaleaDeal and the Hot Mess. I am the main songwriter for, I would say, like most of the previous stuff we put out,
Right.
but we've actually, with the stuff we're cooking up right now, everybody's throwing in on
I can
it
see
and
that.
like on lyrics and music and composing, and that's so nice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like collaboration
Oh,
a lot.
It's fun, yeah. I'm sure that
Yeah.
that was a little bit more difficult too when you were putting like the All My Boyfriends era, like that whole thing or whatever.
Yeah.
That was all you.
Yeah, that was me. And then a few of the songs had some old co-writers from Nashville back when I was doing like my Nashville stuff.
Really?
So
You made it all the way to
Yeah.
Nashville?
yeah, so that my first country album, I did it in Nashville.
That's wild.
It was crazy. And Nashville's fun. But at the same time, it's like, while I love it, I also love our like local scene, and there's like so many talented people, even just in like the tri-state area, who can make records that sound so good, like literally Nashville. Like,
Yeah.
ow.
I feel like a lot. I mean, like times have changed so much that like if you can track like almost everybody has a MacBook nowadays. You know what I mean? Like you can easily track your own stuff, and if you can find find the right person to mix it right, or you know what I mean, like send it to somebody or something like that. Like there's no reason to go to Nashville or any, you know, like that. Like you can send the track if you want to send your tracks to someone in Nashville, be like, yo, mix this for me. But I mean, there's no reason to physically, unless you want to, you know what I mean? Unless you're like into that, you know, like,
Yeah, like-
I'm going to go on a little getaway to Nashville, you know?
Yeah. Step you want to take, and you want to make the trip, you want to go. I think it's a great thing if you can, but at the same time, I am glad we have all the technology we have nowadays because you can be an artist anywhere in the world, not having to go to a major city.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So what part of West Virginia are you from? Are you from Charleston?
So I play in Charleston quite a lot, and it's like a second home to me, but I'm actually from the Summersville area.
Oh, you're from Summersville.
Yes. So Summersville Lake is our main attraction.
Yeah. I've spent some summer nights getting wild in Summersville before. But what I was going to say, with the sending your stuff off to get mixed and stuff, I think a lot of times with that is sometimes it's just like paying for somebody's name because they have done so much stuff or whatever. Like you get the same quality from somebody, you know. Anyway, that was my 2 cents on that. So
yeah, man, there are even bands, you know, any kind of art, you know, like it's crazy because you can find people that you've never even heard of, and you're like, dude, this is the best shit I've ever fucking heard, you know. And then I'll hear something on the radio, and I'll be like, how do people like this? You know, like I
think that's why that lo-fi quality started coming back, is because everybody could get production value so high just in their bedrooms. They're like, well, this is unique now, is getting this lower quality stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
makes sense.
But you went to Neil for these past couple songs, didn't you? Neil Turdy at Amish Electric Chair Studios.
Yes, I love Neil. Neil is honestly the bomb.
I do too. That's who we went to as well. That's our connection right there. The last guy we interviewed too, Josiah from Nearly Mine, they went to him as well. So
yes,
he's kind of becoming that guy around here for bands to go record.
He is. Neil's that guy.
Yeah.
And like, man, he's just so fun to work with too. I feel so comfortable. It feels more like hanging out with a family friend than, being stressed out over, oh my God, I got to get these songs picked.
Yeah, that's always that. I hate that part of the studio. Just like being like, all right, I want somebody else's time.
Yeah.
I need to knock this shit out, or they're gonna get pissed at me. You know, and like how Jake said, like Neil's not like that at all. So I haven't been to him, but like that's really cool. Like he's chill, and you don't feel rushed or like you're pissing him off or anything.
I think
and he cares about the integrity of the song, and that's what means a lot to me. It's like someone genuinely cares how it's going to come out in the end, and take their time on it, and that means a lot.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
I think he's gotten to the point now where he doesn't have a lot of time, like at all, for anybody. Yeah. He's like booked up till next year, I think, or something.
He's always working.
Yeah, but so now he has that option to like kind of pick and choose like who he wants to work with too, and that's really cool. Especially
that is cool because it gives him time to focus on what he wants to do and make sure it's good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Instead of just taking on like 300 bands and just rushing through it and getting the shit out there just to get it out there.
This is just my job. I guess I'm doing this or whatever. Yeah. He genuinely cares. Yeah. It's really cool. It's really cool being in the studio with him. Go ahead. Sorry.
Good. You're good.
There's this like weird lag with Zoom or whatever where fucking you'll start talking the same time as somebody else. How long did you guys spend in the studio with him?
This past time we spent probably, I would say like 5 or 6 days total. We broke it up over a few weekends, but by the time it's said and done, I would say like a week, give or take a few hours.
That's cool. Did you like get a song done in like a weekend and then another song in another weekend, or was it all just kind of like different?
So,
drums one day
so how we did it this last time is we just kind of built everything. So we started with drums, and then we did Kind of a mix of both guitar and bass. We just kind of took turns. If someone was getting tired, okay, well, I guess it's my turn. And then the very last thing we did were vocals and backup vocals.
That's cool.
So yeah, I just came back a separate day for my vocals and like broke that up over a few weekdays. And then we just took a few weekends to do the music and production part.
That's cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is Josh doing any kind of vocals in the new stuff? Is Josh doing some backups and some harmonies and stuff?
He is actually
Awesome.
next song coming out. He's doing some parts in that one, so I'm hyped about that.
Cool.
Yeah, it is all on your shoulders now. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's good to hear because like
He's a good singer. Yeah.
you know what happened with like Cassius and all that. They like broke up, and I feel like it's cool that he can, do his thing in this band too.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, bro is so talented, and like, not talking about myself, I'm just like genuinely lucky to have talented musicians around me, like lifting me up even more, feeling like I can be the best version of myself,
You're absolutely killing it. Like your songs, your guys' music is killing it. I still have yet to see you live, which I was gonna. You guys just played like the Is for Lovers Fest or whatever in Charleston. I was thinking about going to that, but there was a bunch of like weird stuff that happened with like what you guys were allowed to do and like sell and merch and weird stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
What happened with that? Like how did that come about? How did you at one point there it was like, hey, you guys can't leave and come back. You guys can't sell your merch here, like or whatever. Like how did that?
So it was mainly, I think the big thing was just miscommunication. From what I understood, because once like all the stuff happened on social media, because like I logged on and I saw like
it was blowing up. Yeah.
Up and I was like, oh, let me see what's going on. So I checked my email, and the way everything was explained, it was pretty much miscommunication, and they worked it out. We were able to sell merch and come and go the whole day. So in the end, it all worked out, which I'm thankful for. But I was also a little confused at first.
I would have been too, especially if I didn't know anything about it. Got onto Facebook or whatever and was like, what is going on with this show that I'm playing?
yeah, because so how was that show overall? It was pretty badass?
Oh yeah, it was definitely the highlight of the year. It was the biggest crowd we've ever played, which I think when we went on, there was like, I'm wanting to say, now I might not be fully correct about this, but like
10,000 people.
900, like right below 1,000 had like gotten there, because we were on pretty early in the day. We were, I think, the third local act to go on. So it was like 2 p.m. So for 2 p.m., it like sort of, and I mean, yeah, it was crazy.
That's really cool though. I was hoping you got, like people would pop off for you guys, because 2 p.m. is like kind of, that'd suck. I'd hate that. But it's awesome that there are people there to see you guys.
It helped with it being indoors with the vibe, because it was so dark, and like, you had concert lighting, you had a stage, and it didn't feel like 2 p.m. Like by the time we got up there, it felt like, okay, it's like 9:00 at night. This is it.
If there's no phones or clocks or anything, you wouldn't be able to tell what time it is. It's like
windowless
if you're
areas,
in jail.
Yeah.
You guys do play a lot of like outdoors fests too, don't you? Like I've seen photos on your guys' Instagram and stuff. So like,
yeah, we've been hitting the festivals like pretty heavy the last like summer or two, but I think the plan is next year to try to branch out a little bit more, go to some new states, new cities.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll still be around locally. Like, we're not just like peacing out or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
later West Virginia.
No, that's good though. Like to get out and like even if it's just like weekenders or like stuff like that. You there's only so many places to play like in this little area. So like once you've hit them all a few times, it's like, all right, we've done this. Everyone that's gonna see us at this venue has already done it. So we need to get out a little bit and then come back every now. Come back and
write some new stuff.
Whatever. Like if you feel like it. Yeah.
Yeah. The tough thing too around here, specifically in West Virginia, I can't speak for other smaller states, but the only time we get to really play to our full audience is like at a summer festival where it's all ages.
Yeah.
All ages shows are 100% where it's at. Like, yeah.
And it's like there's not a ton of like all ages venues or events going on in the state right now. I mean, there's more now than there was like 5 years ago, but I think that's the hardest part about playing in West Virginia is a lot of our fans are like high school, like early college age, and they're not 21. So they really want to come hang with their friends and watch the show of a band they really like, but they can't because they're 19. So
yeah, I would love to like for there to be like even like a house venue, just like something around. I mean, there's that Dollar General in Ravenswood,
Holler
but
General.
it's like Holler General. But you gotta like the thing with that is like it costs. It's like really it costs $400 to rent it out each show because he wants a $200 deposit and then $200 to rent it out. So I mean, you get $200 back, but I mean, but then you gotta like bring your own PA because all it is just a giant room. It used to be a Dollar General,
right.
So, but it's a really cool spot though. Like there's plenty of parking. It's awesome. Like, I'd like to get some like shows going there.
Yeah,
it's just
I know we're gonna do another Agro Fest or whatever in like next spring or something like that there. But yeah, I was thinking about like. Because I don't book our shows or whatever. Like, that's not me. But I was going to holler at you guys to see if you guys wanted to come through to something if we put on something at an all-ages venue or whatever. Eventually.
That'd be...
Yeah.
Sorry. Keep going.
No. Yeah, that would be dope.
Hell yeah.
So have you heard of a band called from around here called Nearly Mine?
I have, yes. I love them.
Yeah, we were talking to Josiah, and I think like you guys should like hook up and play some shows together. I think you guys would like vibe really well with each other. Like you got like, I'd like to like if I do start like booking shows, I'd do a little bit of everything. But I think you guys would really like,
it would make sense, yeah.
Vibe it'd vibe, yeah. You guys and like Roy Bush, and I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I actually have spoken to Josiah a couple times, and he's like, let's get some shows together. And I'm like, yes, let's please get some shows together. And we just haven't worked anything out yet. But I really want to. Next year, we're hitting shows like really hard. So we're going to make some stuff happen. And Roy, obviously, I love Roy. Roy's our boy.
Yeah.
Do you book for your band or whatever?
I do. It's kind of like mostly me, but all of us. Like, it's not just exclusive to...
I'm sure Josh has some connections or whatever as well, too, yeah.
And sometimes he's the better communicator, like, when it comes to, like, negotiate.
That's our thing, is, like, I'm not good at that. I'm like, yeah, we'll go play. It's like, there's no, like, anything else guaranteed or whatever, so we've put that onto our, like, bass player. He's the one that usually does all the, like, negotiations and like how's this gonna go type stuff and sets it up. So it's like, all right, yeah.
Someone with
I wish I had someone like that. Yeah, I'm not good at that shit either. Like, I wish I had someone to take care of all that. Like, I'd almost like pay somebody to do it, just because like it's not that I'm like, I mean, obviously I do this podcast, so I'm not like weirdly like antisocial or anything, but like I feel like people, like, if I don't get back to somebody in time or I forget or so, I just hate all that stress being on just me, you know, because I'm the one that people talk to and stuff about it, and I'm like, fuck, man, I forgot to message that guy back, and then I have to relay the shit back to the band and be like, hey, you guys want to do this show on this day? And then go back and be like, oh, well, yeah, hold on, I'm still waiting on one guy to tell me. You know, it's a mess, man. But
being the singer, like, automatically people just think that you're that dude anyway. So there's so many times I'm like, nah, man, you gotta go to somebody else. I just write stuff and draw stuff. Like that's all I do or whatever. I'm like, I'm the fun uncle of the band. Like those guys are the real dads over there or whatever.
Yeah, they're the grown-ups.
Yeah, they're the grown-ups. What do you remember, like, what got you into, like, the music you guys play now, like, besides, like, Paramore or whatever, like, anything else, like, any other influences, or like, this is what I want to play eventually or whatever?
Yeah, there's like 3 specifically for me. So growing up, my grandpa always played guitar. And it was just one of those things, like, we're from West Virginia. We live in a holler, you know. Everybody would come down to the holler and get their guitars out and just sing a bunch of old music. And I thought that was cool as a kid. I was like, wow, this is neat. I want to do this.
Porch picking and stuff or whatever. Yeah, that stuff's awesome.
That was like my first exposure, like really, really young. And then as I got older, like my older brother, got into like metal and punk music, and then I got Guitar Hero. So
that's come up before on here. A couple people,
yeah. Mostly, I thank my older brother for like putting me onto a lot of bands and Guitar Hero. So I have a Guitar Hero tattoo. Like it's on me.
Is it like visible or is it?
So it's I have a stomach tattoo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. I thought it was like on your, like, you know, banger on your arm there, like Guitar.
There's on our Instagram where it's visible because it's a fair tattoo, but it's Casey's stomach tattoo and it says electric, like electric. I thought it was cool. I always liked her as a character, so I'm like, I'm gonna get that.
Hell yeah.
So
have you had any, like, young girls come up to you at shows and, like, fan over you, and, like, because you seem like the type of girl that would, like, is an inspiration to others, especially around here, to play the style of music and everything like that.
Yes, actually, when we played live on the Levee this past year, I had lots of, like, young girls. They were anywhere from the ages of, like, 7 to 8, all the way up to, like, 18, I would say. Just people being like, these girls, and not just girls, just young kids, being like, I want to do this. Like, I have so many ideas. I write poems, I write songs. Like, how did you start? What do you do? What's your advice? And that's always a tough question to answer because, like, I feel like I'm not qualified to give advice.
None of us really are. It's just your experiences. Like, this is what happened to me.
I can't give advice on how to do it, but the one thing that I can give advice on to specifically younger kids is just to keep going and to not give up. And I know that's a very cheesy answer, but if you think about it, a lot of kids, they start doing something and they're right there on, like, the line of creating something really good, and life happens. They get older and they forget about it. They stop, and it's like, life does happen, but eventually come back to it because there's something there worth exploring, worth figuring out. I don't know. The world needs more art.
100%. I agree. I mean, that happens to everybody. I've seen it multiple times where, like, a good friend of mine growing up would be really great artist, really great musician, or really, really funny or something. Like, they could do, like, that type of funny, like, or whatever, you know, really talented in some way. And then I'll like holler at them like later on, and we'll just talk about that. Like, do you even do that kind of stuff anymore? And they're just like, nah, I don't think it's like. That's wild, man. You were so passionate about it at one point. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's tough.
It's sad. It's sad to watch people do that too. Like,
It is.
I got a lot of friends like that we grew up playing music, and I was like, man, I hope I'm as good as him at guitar one day, and they don't even play guitar anymore. It's like shit.
The amount of like talented people that I grew up around, way more talented than me, that don't do anything with it anymore is insane. It is really fucking sad. So I'm like, if you just kept going, you'd probably be big time right now. Like.
Yeah, especially like thinking about the pandemic and how everything stopped. There are so many bands I used to listen to, like not even just local, but like pretty well-known bands as well, that just hung it all up and haven't done anything since. And it's just, it sucks, man.
Yeah, it's sad.
We reformed out of the pandemic, so ish, I guess. It was like towards the
Right.
But yeah, that was a big reason why we did.
Yeah, that's how Ghost Home started. I was just like bored and wrote some songs and was like, yeah.
I thought you had ghosts in your home, and you were like,
I did.
They told you to sing.
I did. That'd be a way cooler story. I'm just gonna go with that.
Go with that.
Yeah.
I was stuck in my house, and all these ghosts came out and said, "You need to start a band."
Start a band.
Hey, so we ask everybody this, and you don't have to, like, if you don't want to, like, call anyone out or anything like that, but just like we always get pretty funny stories of what the worst show you ever played was. And it doesn't have to be like,
you don't even have to say the name of the show, just the details of what
you
happened.
just tell the story of what happened.
There are so many. And I guess that's kind of terrible for me to say, but there's been a lot.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of strange experiences that I've had over the years I've been playing publicly. By far, one of the worst experiences I had was in 2022. I'm not going to say the name of the place. It was in West Virginia. I will say that. So we're a 3-piece band at the time. This is before Josh and Cody were in the band. So it was a little while ago. We're setting up, we're bass, drums, guitar. Drums are set up. Drums are obviously like a loud thing. You can't turn them down. Getting that vibe from this venue, like they're going to ask us to turn down the drums, and we simply did not. But instead, we got into like our third song, and one of the people working came up and was like, "You need to turn your guitar and your vocals down." So it kind of got me off guard, because that's not anything that I usually get told at the time. I was literally playing through like a small combo amp, so it wasn't like it wasn't. I was like, okay, that's weird, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's got like a weird echo. So I turn it down a little bit. Another song goes by. Person comes back and there's like, no, you need to turn it down more. So at this, I just like turn it down a little bit, like act like I'm doing it, but didn't.
Oldest trick in the book. Yeah.
And there's no one here, because this venue has like a patio as well, and it's hot. It's the middle of summer. Everyone's sitting outside, so there's like hardly no one inside. Whatever. Few songs pass, and these people come in, and they go over. It's like a Touch Tunes jukebox.
Oh my god.
And it's so much louder. It's like one of those like jukebox like things where it's like so much louder than the volume of anything else in the restaurant, and to the point where it was louder than all of our gear. You couldn't like talk to each other anymore. It was just like and they were like, yeah, our customers, they like to listen to the jukebox, so we're gonna let them turn it on
While you were playing, right?
While y'all are playing?
while we were playing.
That's what I was saying. That's why the "Oh my God" came out.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was literally like the most jarring thing to be in the middle of a song, and then just hear like Sublime start playing, and
Morgan
it's like,
Wallen.
What?
Last night we let.
so yeah,
I would be pissed.
that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the drums thing you were saying is funny because we interviewed our friend Brian Beaver, and didn't he have something about like acoustic drums or something at some set there? Yeah.
No, they asked him if he. They're like, I thought you played electric.
Yeah,
drums.
that's what it
And he
was.
like, what? But you should have. I mean, like, whenever they were telling you to turn that shit down, I was thinking, like, well, isn't that your job?
Yeah.
You know, because you said to turn the vocals down or something. It's like, yeah, get right on that. You know, like, what the fuck?
It was so disrespectful. It was a rough night. Like, the bass player we had at the time, it was his first ever show with us. So he was going through it. Just like how everything was managed, it was just managed very poorly. And after that, I was like, hey, we're just going to stop. We're not going to continue to play. Like, there's no point in this. So they paid us still, and we left.
Do you have drink tickets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we didn't get a drink ticket. We got, it was literally like a keg of PBR. Or like, here's the band's PBR.
Oh, yeah.
Like, watered down PBR.
I
So
would have just started selling that outside. Like, fuck you guys. Like, I'll just sell my own beer and get some more.
yeah,
But that's a terrible experience. I could definitely see how that's.
that's it's made me reevaluate a lot of things. While it was bad, it has made me think, when I'm booking a show, does this venue like really have our best interest? Like, they want this type of music, and it's like, we do acoustic things, we do acoustic setups, like low volume, and I always tell people, like, hey, if this is more of your vibe, like, we will come play an acoustic set. Like, that's totally cool. They're like, no, bring the full band. But then it's a restaurant, and it's like, you know, I don't. People are dinner.
Was it still acting as a restaurant while you guys started to play or whatever? Because that's the thing I've noticed with some. They'll like, all right, kitchen's closed, show's on or whatever. You know, like 9 o'clock or something.
So it was a really long set. It was like a 3-hour set.
You guys had to play a 3-hour set? What?
Yeah, we used to do that quite a bit, but I kicked off the first set acoustically.
Right.
So I just acoustic, like 50 minutes, and then like 10-minute break. We did our first set. It was okay. Like, we had the volume issues, sure. But then it was like the second set. They were like, our customers want to hear the jukebox, the touch tunes, whatever. I was like, okay, whatever. There's no point.
Hold up, the 3 fucking hours, dude. Does your voice not go through it during that? Like, that is insane.
Yeah, 3-hour shows, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot.
That's too much.
Especially as a full band. Like, that it's when you're playing like more aggressive, more energetic type of music. It's a lot.
Yeah, I struggle to get through 30 minutes.
Dude, we do 20 minutes, 30-minute sets, and I'm like, I'm dying at the end. Like, my back's thrown out and stuff. I'm laying on the ground outside. Like, that's wild. My voice is gone too.
Yeah, a lot. And I started doing like really longer shows, and just now in the last few years, we'll do like 45-minute sets, or like an hour is the longest one we've played in the last few years. But I will say, it's also just like the music scene has grown to be a bit more accommodating to bands, to know like when too long is too long of a set.
Yeah, I can see that.
being like, oh, I can't play that long. It's more or less like, even from an audience standpoint,
It's too
maybe
much. Yeah.
a certain amount of time, it is a little much. So there's lots of factors you have to consider. And I'm glad that the scene has like started considering those types of things. It makes shows and events and festivals just flow so much easier.
That's cool that you cut your I guess you cut your chops on that, them 3-hour sets. So now it's like, half an hour is nothing to me, dude.
This is nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. 3-hour show acoustically. So yeah, it's still something that I regularly do. And acoustically I don't mind though, because I get to like sit down and it's fun to talk to the audience, to be like, you guys know this song, or have you ever heard of like this artist? Or it's an atmosphere where you can tell like stories. And in that type of situation, I love 3-hour shows. But like,
I could have
asking.
Sorry, did you?
No, you're.
I was gonna say I could have a good time sitting there fucking with the crowd for like 5 hours. That'd be a good time for me. But
when you get people that are like very talkative back, or like the random guy that's always cracking jokes, because then you can just like crack one back at him or whatever, it makes it go by quick, and then it doesn't feel like 3 hours because you're just like having fun. Yeah.
That probably makes you a better songwriter in the end too, like or whatever. Not like being able to have that experience, like I'm just gonna try something new here or whatever, guys. And you know what I mean? Instead of being like, this has to be perfect, which a lot of people have in their mind to like when they play.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah.
I used to be a perfectionist about things, but recently I've been taking more calculated risks. I will say they're calculated. I'm not like a risk taker, but it sometimes it's better to just go for it and not overthink.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it almost always makes for like a good time, even if like, you know what I mean, like you get something out of that, like having that or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit, I was going somewhere and then I got lost in the 3-hour cycle. I'm just thinking, like, could we ever do that? It's like absolutely, our drummer would die. He would literally die on stage. Like,
I would die on like. There's no way.
I go hide in the corner and fucking sing. Oh, that's do you like prep like mentally or physically before shows? Is there anything that you like kind of need that like put you in that right mood or whatever?
Yeah, for me, it's two things. Water. I need lots of water. Just absolutely chug as much water as I can before I play. I need my throat to feel smooth. I know that's a weird way of saying it. But
yeah. Do you do cold water or do you do warm water? What's that? Yeah, that's me. Like my band used to, like, they give me shit. Well, they don't anymore because they're used to it. But like, I set waters out in the van to get hot, like to get warm. And I'm like, if I drink cold water while I'm playing a set, like I immediately want to throw up. I don't know what it is. It's some weird shit
shocks your system a little bit there. Like you're like, oh yeah, I'm all like super hot or whatever, and this cold thing just hit my body. Like yeah.
And not to mention, like, if it's really cold, it's gonna have like condensation, and it's gonna get on your hands, and it's just
you got smooth hands then too. Go along with the throat. So what was the other thing? Your smooth throat. You gotta have that, and then what's after that?
The other thing is I have to have plenty of guitar picks.
Are you a thrower outer?
Not on purpose.
Oh, they just come out.
Often. And recently, I don't have any on right now. I've been trying to wear like press-on nails. I've very, very short nails because of guitar, and I've just never had them long, but I've been doing like photo shoots and video shoots lately, and I want my nails to look nice. So I've been wearing press-on nails, and I've been getting better with playing in them, but literally like last week at practice we were playing and one of my nails popped off and flew like directly to Cody. So I'm like,
I can imagine his face too. Like a nail just flies. He just probably like, like the Cody face.
that kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm still working with it. I think if I get my nails done professionally, like go to a professional and do it and tell them, hey, I really want nails, just make them like super short, and then I'll take my guitar with me and then see if I can play it and be like shorter. Yeah. I can't play.
Oh, yeah.
So the press-ons you use, is that you do them yourself then?
Yeah.
Oh. See, I've took my daughter to get her nails done quite a bit. It's an experience or whatever, just hanging out there with the nail salon with all the ladies or whatever. Bullshitting, like, yeah, that's a cool color. I like that color or whatever, you know.
Baby pink, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Fuchsia, yeah, that's a good one. That's it. I would call it purple, but yeah, fuchsia. Is there a band that you guys play with that you like? That's the band you like to play with the most, or whatever?
Man, there's so many good bands to play with.
I doubt it'd hurt anybody's feelings if you said one, and if it does, then like, fuck them. Like they shouldn't get their feelings hurt.
I'm gonna give you two. One is technically no longer a band. And we only ever played with them once. We opened for Screaming Females a few years ago.
Shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It was 2021. It was insane. Screaming Females, huge influence for me. So getting the opportunity to open in Charleston for one of my all-time favorite bands, and it was at Live on the Levee, so it wasn't like the Coliseum or like a super big venue. So like you got to actually speak to the band members, and it was very, very cool experience. So they're no longer a band though, so I won't technically count them. The one I will say though is Golden, because we have been unofficially doing the Golden HotMess tour together this year, and by that we just keep getting booked at the same shows and then find like, well, I guess it's a tour. So they have been one of our favorites to play with, but the ones we played with the most this year.
Yeah, I love all those guys too. Like Greg, actually, my very first band I was ever in. Greg recorded our EP at when he was first starting to get into recording, like in his studio and stuff. Like Greg did the Excitement EP, and then I met Cody. Like I love all those guys. They're all really cool people.
I've never met them, but I do know that they won like last year's West Virginia Music Best Punk Rock Band or whatever or something. I've seen that, so that's cool.
I'm not too sure. They're great though. Our Live on the Levee show together, I actually did a song with them, which was a lot of fun. We covered Ain't It Fun by Paramore.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
I bet that was a real cool fucking cover.
Yeah, much fun, but it was so weird singing without my guitar.
Yeah.
So you're not used to that at all?
No, I haven't. At that point, I had not sung without a guitar in my hands or some kind of instrument in my hands since age 15.
Damn. Did you hit the Hayley Williams moves? You know, like her little karate stuff and all that. She got a presence, man. She got some moves. I've been watching them. I'm gonna steal them or whatever.
I tried to channel, and I think I did channel well, but I was mostly just focused on keeping the monitors in my ear because that was also my first time playing live with in-ears.
To this day.
It was cool. It was super cool, but it didn't fit in my ear the right way. So I kept having to be like, ain't it fun?
Looking like you're in the studio or whatever. Turn my headphones up.
Trying to keep them on.
What is like singing with an in-ear monitor like? Is it is it cool? Does it make it more like on crisp or on point for you, or like?
It makes everything like isolated, and it makes me feel like I'm in a studio. That's the way I describe it. It gives me that studio experience, but I'm, live, playing live. We want to start using in-ear monitors soon. It's something we're going to research a bit this winter, and figure out what's going to work for us, because I do like the experience of using them. And also you're kind of in control of your own mixes, which I like too. And that's a big thing for me, is I don't want to hear like a ton of my vocals. Because if I hear too much of it, I'm going to mess up. Like, I need everything else.
Yeah, you just need a little bit, really, yeah. And you could probably turn Cody off that way, too. I'm playing. I love Cody.
Nobody ever asks for more bass, and,
It's true.
I feel for them.
I feel like my head would explode if I used in-ear monitors, because, like, at least a quarter of our set is nothing but feedback and noise. So it just be like in my
I'm actually, like, really difficult, and like now I just wonder, like, is there a way to go about that? That's
yeah, you end up playing like Parkersburg fucking mall or something. You're like, where's my in-ear monitors or whatever, like fucking Billy Bob is like, we don't know what those are, man. You don't have to play.
What is a song? What's the song that one song you can think of that you're jealous that you didn't write? Like, if you're just like, man, every time you hear it, you're like, fuck, I wish
that was my song.
It's so good. Yeah.
Bringing back an old school question.
Like something that just like hits you, like, if like personally, that you're just like, I should have wrote this fucking song.
Because I got a handful in my life at different times. I'm like, that should have been my fucking song. How did they write that?
Yeah.
Like,
Man, there's so many that I'm thinking right now. Because, like, I have a lot of songs that I feel that way about. But one, it's kind of a weird choice. Because it's not even related to the style of music that I play now.
That's fine. I got a bunch that aren't.
There is a Lana Del Rey song off of her second album called $1 Million Man. And it's just very, like, very swing. It's blues. It's sad, and she's like emotional, and but it's also sassy at the same time. But the imagery in the song, like the one for the money, two for the show, like that type of vibe, it's a really cool mental image. And the first time I heard it, I was like, this song is just it's so cool. I like this. And that's like one that's always stuck in my head. Like, I wish I would have wrote this song, because it's cool, it's catchy, and for me, I love songs that paint a picture. And I always think it's interesting, like, hearing like the way people perceive lyrics and music, because almost everyone has a different like mental image. Like, that's what sticks out to me about certain songs. It's like, it's got to be that specific mental image. I've got to really vibe with it to want something like, man, I wish I would have wrote this song.
I'm the same way. The Josiah episode, like, I went over his lyrics with him and stuff. He's really good at painting an image, like real good lyrical image.
Yeah.
I was real jealous of it, because I'm like, what, are you 21, dude? You can write that good already? Like, I started with like, shut the fuck up, like dumb shit. I'm trying to get to this level where I can paint pictures for people, and I think I'm getting better. But yeah, I love that. I love some people are just so incredibly talented at it too, like that style of writing.
Yes.
Oh man, I think Shit for Brains paints a pretty nice.
I didn't write that song. That's not my song. That's Austin's song. You were predominantly the songwriter, and then like you guys now collaborate or whatever. When you write, is it like riff first, lyrics first? Is it a combination? Is it all coming at once? Like what? How do you? How does like what's your style behind it or whatever?
So it happens a lot of ways, but the most common way it happens for me is I'll just be going through my day, like my everyday life, whatever, and I'll either get a melody or a lyric. And it'll be like, oh, that's good. Like, let me go to like my notes and write this, or like, let me go somewhere really quiet and hum this melody and
I do that shit too all the time at work.
do that. And then I used to like immediately try to pursue the idea, but lately I've been just like pushing
Let
it
it
away.
go, and if it's good, it'll
Yeah.
come back. Dude, it took me years to figure that out or whatever. Like,
Yeah. And then that's usually like, I'll just be like hanging out, playing guitar, and I'll start playing something kind of catchy. And then I'll just start trying like some of the recent lyrics I've gotten, like ideas for recent melodies, and see what fits. And I know that's kind of like an anticlimactic answer, but I'm older. I like to build things up. I used to be able to sit down as like a teenager and just like write something from like start to finish and have that be my main focus, but it's not like that anymore. And frankly, it's like day to day. One day I'll be working on this song, and the next day I'm in an entirely different mood, and I don't even want to touch that song, so I'm going to this one instead. So
yeah, it's very rare for me to finish lyrics in one day anymore. Whereas when I was a kid, I could write 7 songs in the same day or whatever.
yeah,
But I've learned, and I like listened to like actually Stephen King or whatever, saying like he was talking about creativity and his ideas for books because he has so many like great books or whatever. And he basically was saying the same thing. Like you get that kernel or that idea, instead of trying to pop it right there or eat it right then, like let it like cook or whatever, let it actually come to fruition. And a
yeah,
lot of times your mind, when you put something in it, like a challenge like that or whatever, like, oh, I found this, I really want to use it, and you just go away from it, your subconscious will work on it regardless. So you can come back with more lyrics or finish up the melody or find the chorus or the verse or whatever. I didn't know all that stuff when I was like 17 to 25 though. Like this is all within the past 5 years. I was like, oh, I don't have to push this shit out of my brain. I can just walk away from it and it'll like fix itself or come back or whatever.
yeah. And like, and for me too, like adding on to like the writing process discussion, um, and we were kind of talking about this earlier. It's like, painting a picture. Before I can get to that point with my lyrics, I try really, really like dumb or silly lyrics first to see if it'll work. Just like I'll have an idea in my head and I'm chasing it and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this generic, like laughable idea and then come back to it and actually make the meaning what I want it to be.
Like a
Have my
placeholder lyric or whatever.
yeah, like have my generalized like meaning there, but then come back and really paint over it.
Yeah,
Because it's like, sorry,
no,
what?
I was agreeing.
Sorry, lag. And yeah, for me, it's like if I don't put that placeholder in and then move on with my idea, because it never is just like one little thing. It's usually like a whole verse. I'll have an idea. Like if I don't put that placeholder there, I'm going to be screwed and I'm not going to remember what I need to remember. So that's another trick that I've been using lately.
Yeah, that's a good one though.
I do that a lot when I don't have like a chorus or like I don't know exactly how I'm gonna sing to the riff or whatever. I'll
Yeah.
just like sing stuff about farts or like stuff like that, just to like try to find that place and then kind of work on what goes into it or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. It's wild that like all these people that we've been talking to and you and everybody is like generally everybody's about the same when it comes to like writing music and stuff. And like I didn't know you don't really think of it as that universal because you're going through that process alone or whatever, when you're writing. But it's like, oh, everybody does this. Like everybody goes through this kind of like stuff or whatever, like trying to figure out how
Yeah.
to make something. It's really cool.
Yeah.
When are you going to play a hardcore song?
I will say, we've been working on some heavier stuff lately. We have. We've got specifically like 2 songs right now that kind of ride that line.
Right in that, like,
One, one is more like aggressive punk, and the other kind of like dips its toes into not necessarily hardcore, but like there's some metal subgenres in there.
like you
I'm
get a
not
taste of it or whatever. Yeah.
games, but like the vibes are coming together. So
Nice.
yeah,
Excited to hear those. Speaking of that, I know we talked about this earlier before we started recording, but you guys got some stuff going on. You guys got some music coming out.
we do. We do. Kira just came out a couple weeks ago.
It's a banger.
Thank you. It is
Yes.
one of my most favorite ones that we've done so far. It's just a lot of fun to play and a lot of fun to sing. And yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. But our next song is like the total opposite of Kira. It's very angry and sad and not happy at all. But I think it's a great song. It comes out on November 1st.
11-1.
So-
111.
Yeah.
Like an angel number, isn't it, or something? No, it's 11-11, isn't it?
Well, 111's an angel number too, though.
Okay. So I know
Yeah.
stuff.
That's good luck. Yeah. I think that one means, sorry, I geek out about angel numbers and stuff.
It's
A little bit.
It's fun stuff to like look into and like read about and stuff. I gotcha.
I'm pretty sure 111 is like trusting your gut, like trusting your intuition. I think that's supposed to be the meaning behind that one. I'm not entirely sure, but
Well,
like
that's a good number date to release your song on. Like there.
yeah, I'm really excited for everyone to hear it. We also have a music video for this specific song. So yeah.
You got like, did you guys hire somebody or did you attempt to do the video yourself?
We did. We worked with Humble Media to work to get this music video planned. It's nothing crazy, but it was a lot of fun to shoot. Shot it a couple weeks back. So
I've seen like some clips or something on your guys' Instagram and your story and stuff of you guys doing it.
Yeah.
It's a fun little process trying to shoot a video. Like I shot one for us and I don't know. I'm not gonna get into all the other ideas I had for videos. Like, I think we could do this. It's like, I don't have time to mess around with you in the camera or whatever. Like,
that day we shot the video. It was such a long day. We shot this in a warehouse. And at the very last shot, I like laid on the ground and like kind of like kicked and rolled around, and I had dirt all over me. Like dirt and little rocks, and I was filthy. It was I'm covered in dirt. So the drummer and I were pulling out of the warehouse, and the light comes on in my car, like my tire light. And I'm like, that's doesn't happen often. That's kind of weird, but like maybe it's just like tire pressure. Turns out we got a staple in our tire.
Oh no.
Big staple. So it's a Sunday. It's 7:00 at night. Almost every place is closed. Luckily, they actually patched the tire at Walmart, which is, the last place I expected, but they patched it and get home. Didn't have to buy a new tire, but oh my God, it was so stressful.
I bet.
you guys actually, or you at least, you have a pretty decent like following on like TikTok and stuff like that. Like, you put a lot of time in like creating content for that, I've noticed. Do you like doing that, or is that just something you feel like you have to do?
So I'm halfway with it. I do genuinely like enjoy making the content and putting it out there because, one, it's a great way to get more people interested in the band. It's a different form of promotion, but at the same time, like, it's also just a lot of fun to goof off and make silly videos, especially like if my other bandmates are in it. Like, it's fun. But then there's this line where, like any other media, it can be incredibly exhausting and toxic, and it's a lot sometimes. So last winter I took a hiatus from TikTok entirely. I was still posting on our other socials, but I'm like, mentally I'm not in a place where I can deal with this at the moment. Because there's just a lot, and it's not even like directed towards me. Like, you get hate comments and stuff, but that's just the internet. I just mean in general, the app and the types of things you see on there, and it's exhausting. Yeah,
I took a stab at that as well. Like when we were putting out the REP a year or two ago, so I was like kind of making content and stuff, and I couldn't ever get them to like do stuff with me, but I'd make like dumb little videos and dumb little edits and stuff. We didn't get a really nothing really from it, to be honest. It was just kind of fun. I was having fun like learning how to edit and shoot stuff. Yeah. But like that app is pretty toxic just in general. Like, no hate comments or anything. We didn't have big enough following for that, but like just being on it, I was like, I don't think I want to really do this anymore. So still have it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna really pay attention to it now or whatever.
Yeah. I've been better about it recently because I have like physically told myself I'm only going to use this app to like interact with posts that are similar to me, and to post and to do our music thing. And then once I start like scrolling and I think to myself, I've been scrolling too long, it's like I'm turning it off now.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I actually had to delete it from my phone for a little bit because like I couldn't get on it because I'd be on it like next thing you know, it's like an hour and a half, and I've been just sitting there just like, and I'm like, holy shit, dude! Like I just fell into some crazy ass like.
I'm like,
oh,
and you're like have this anxiety like the world's gonna end tomorrow, man, with all these insanely smart people that know exactly what they're talking about. Like, Russia is bombing us tomorrow, like that kind of stuff. Demons everywhere.
God, yeah, it's a huge time waster, and I've like tried to be so mindful of myself. I don't want to doom scroll.
Yeah.
So are you? Obviously, I don't think anybody's gonna be like, nah, I fucking hate it. But are you happy with like the music you guys just recorded and your singles and stuff like that, the rollout so far, and what's coming or whatever?
Oh God, yes. Like, I have been so excited to release these songs, and it's been the hardest thing in the world, not just being like, here you go, everyone, here's the because I mean, in my opinion, one of the best songs on this EP, and one of the best ones that I've ever written, isn't even going to be released until last.
That's what we did with our couple little singles. Is like, I think the best one should be last or whatever.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like my definition of the best. It's not like the upbeat song. It's not the song with a ton of catchy hooks, but like, it's a 5-minute song about a very personal experience that I had, and it's just like, I don't know. It feels like it's a story from start to finish, and I'm really excited for everyone to hear that one specifically.
I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, I will share the name of that song. It's called Sour. So
Sour, everybody here first. Heel Rod Podcast exclusive news.
Yeah, exclusive. When you see the word sour, just know that's the song I'm mentioning right now, because I'm excited for people to hear that one.
It's weird the way you gotta release music nowadays with the singles. Like, that's basically how you have to do it anymore, which sucks because I think we're all from like the bygone era of like albums is what matters, and like the art of that, and, like the inlays and all that stuff is like, that shit doesn't really matter to people as much anymore. It's just what it be put out recently.
And for me, it's like, I'm a big like physical media person. I love vinyls. I have a pretty large cassette collection, actually.
They're making a comeback.
Um, so, and it's sad for me that you don't see a lot of physical releases anymore. But then it's again, like, as an artist, I'm like, man, I know that is so expensive to get all that pressed and manufactured. And it's like, that's a whole other ballpark and to get into. So in a way, like, I hate that it's single by single, but at the same time, I'm also appreciative because it gives you a little bit of a breather in between songs without entirely like dropping off the face of the earth. Like, you can keep your music going in people's faces without, you know, just dropping everything at once. So
yeah.
I mean, there's definitely pluses and minuses to all that,
yeah.
but I don't know. I'm just a big fan of like something as a whole and being able to like listen through and like really feel the vibe of like what was going on in the writing process of that or whatever. But I totally get like, all right, yeah, every other month we'll release a single. It's like every other month it'll be popped up in people's faces. But I also feel like that could give people like fatigue on you a little bit. It's like, oh, here they are with another fucking single or something. Like,
yeah. And it's like, it's a fine line. You have to find it, and you got to find that specific little groove that works for you. You know, because it's super different from everyone. Because like, legitimately, some people can just put out a whole project and it's like it does well and it's a great thing to do, and it's just, but then another band does it and it comes out like, oh, we would have been better off doing singles instead. Right. So
because the attention span is like people listen to like the first 2 songs of like 10 songs or something. They're like, all right, these are all right, and then they'll move on to whatever they liked before, whatever else, and then they don't realize that you got like some fucking gems in there like later on or something, you know.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of like consistently promoting your old music that you're proud of as well. Like, granted, we all grow, and maybe like some of our older stuff, like maybe that's not the first thing you want people to hear, but if there's something that you're in particularly like really, just because it's a few years old, that doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about it anymore. And so like, I'm really big into people just pushing like their art, even if it's been out a while, because I mean, it's still good. It's not like it, I mean, maybe some things could age poorly, but I feel like for the most part, like, you know.
Plus it'll remind people that you made this or whatever, like, and they might be like, that was really good. I really did like that. So I agree completely with that.
Yeah.
I recently took the very first demo I ever did for Ghost Home. I took it off everything, and then my friend was like, "Yo, did you take some songs off of there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." I was good because I go back and listen to them, and I'm like, this doesn't even sound like the same band anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I said, like a lot of that stuff started out just me dicking around in my garage, you know, and like we're completely different now. So I was like, I don't know if I even want anyone to hear this shit, you know. So yeah, I took some of the old stuff down.
I think,
but yeah,
for me, the stuff I'm not like proud of, like our early demos and stuff, the 2005 stuff, I put that on like, what was it, Bandcamp, and then like, so like you can go to that. It's all free. Like, who cares about it or whatever. Yeah. And then like the stuff that we put a lot of time and effort into, we'll pay to get released or whatever on DistroKid.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
That's what makes sense to me. Actually, we were thinking about releasing some wild ass demos here recently, but who knows? Maybe.
That's fun. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's fun. So, what's the name of the song releasing November 1st?
November 1st. It's called Lie to Me.
Lie to Me. November 1st.
Yeah.
You guys got any shows coming up like after about 2 weeks' time?
Okay, so after 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. Okay. November 9th. That'll be. So we're kind of taking it easy in October. But to be fair, between every of the band, there is so much personally going on in the month of October. So many birthdays and anniversaries, and it's just like every weekend we've all got like personal stuff. So we're not playing any October shows this year, which is a first. So
Oh yeah, like we're the ghost band. We got the name Ghost in our name, dude. Like there's so many
bring a
like shows
theremin
going
with
on
you.
that I had to like be like, yeah, like for some reason October is the month that like everyone asks us to play shows, and they're all like on the same fucking weekends, and I'm like, sorry, we already got something going on, you know what I mean? But like it just seems like October is the month for
spooky
our
bands.
band. I don't know if it's like that for everybody. Is it like that for you guys too? Like October, like everybody wants you to play?
for me, for our band specifically, I think it's because of our song "All My Boyfriends."
I could see that 100%.
Yeah.
You're talking about Frankenstein and Dracula and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a song about scary movies, like classic horror. So a lot of people like want Halloween shows, and I love Halloween shows. I love the spooky month, and it literally like shatters my heart to not play any shows in October. But it's a lot this year. I'm hoping
Yeah.
we can get a Halloween show or two.
We have never played a Halloween show, which is like the biggest detriment to like our band. It's just, and I'm super into spooky stuff, obviously, you know, like I like all that stuff and like horror-esque type deal stuff, and we've never done it. And me and Austin, like we worked that weekend, and we have for the past couple of years. I was like, so we're planning like next year we'll have a big fucking Halloween show or whatever. Like we got an idea of who we're gonna dress up as and stuff.
Yep.
It's gonna be cool, but like it'll be the first one ever for us.
Nice.
Halloween shows are so fun though. Just like
Are
Halloween in general is just awesome. It's,
Yeah, it is a cool time. All right, Emmalea, is there anything
Yes.
you want to get out there for the peoples?
for the people. What do I say to the people? Well, I guess, you know, well, I guess just overall, like, to all of our listeners, supporters, fans, and friends, thank you for supporting us the past couple of years. Specifically the past year, because there's been a lot of like changeovers with the name and everything happening. And all the support we've received for the new music we've been putting out, just from the bottom of our hearts, thank you to everybody that's given us a listen or checked out our brand in any kind of way. So,
Oh yeah, continue to check them out. They got new songs coming out, but thank you for coming on here. You didn't have to do this. We're turds, and you're like a talented singer, and we're not. So gave us insight into like what it's like to have a big time, be big time, or whatever. So yeah, but thank you. Love your band, love your music, love your creative process. Keep on doing it. Keep making stuff. Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.